Hey Lincoln, what were your takeaways from the scrimmage today? Were there any standouts you can highlight from either side of the ball?
Yeah, it was a little bit different than some of our practices here as of late in that there were some pretty big momentum swings in the scrimmage, and sides were, I mean, when you're the head coach, you always look at it right from two points of view. I mean, sides were able to maintain momentum longer, uh, but on the flip side of it, you want the other side when it's not going well to be able to turn it around quicker. Uh, I mean, the general kind of how it went. I mean, the offense started pretty quickly, had a good first couple of drives. Uh, Defense dominated the middle part of the scrimmage. I think at one point we had 6 or 7 straight series with no points. And then we did a kind of a simulated overtime. Not really simulated. We kind of went at it. We did a full overtime at the end, which there was a lot of back and forth on. And that's, we split the teams up and it got pretty competitive there at the end, and finished with a pretty kind of epic kind of 2-point attempt there at the end, which was fun. So, yeah, it was a competitive day. Guys stayed pretty healthy, which was, obviously you get in these live situations, that's obviously a big point. So we're probably right now the healthiest that we've been all spring. So we're starting to get some more of the bodies back and be able to get some of those guys reps, which has been good. And yeah, we got a full, I think 85 plus plays. We were able to do a couple other drills. We got a lot of live special teams work today. Worked the big four, and we're able to kick field goals and extra points as well. So no, it was a good day. I thought we, standout wise, Anthony Lucas had a sack, strip, and then picked up the fumble. I couldn't tell for sure if he was a part of the sack. It was close, but he picked up the fumble and scored, which was a big play. Defensively, had a couple of really key 4th down stops defensively where guys made really sure tackles. Had a couple of big plays on offense. Zach had a couple of really nice plays. Kyron Hudson had a really nice play in the overtime period. Backs all had some productive runs, but there were also a lot of tackles for loss and guys in the backfield too. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of standouts with that many plays. And like I said, it's kind of a game of or a day of big momentum shifts, and great for us, obviously, to not to get long-winded here, but great for us to get in the Coliseum. It's our first time since I guess since Notre Dame, that we've been in here. And first time for this football team to get a chance to come in, and obviously gorgeous day and a lot of great football this morning.
RJ? Nope. Okay, Adam?
Lincoln, you mentioned on Tuesday that in regards to Damani, he's been able to stack more practices than he really ever has been able to in the past. Where have you seen him benefit the most from that? And, what have you learned about him as a player in that stretch?
I've seen him benefit from the most in that he's in some ways he's kind of going through those things that you go through your true freshman year. You're learning to compete against really good other players that are really good on the other side of the ball every single day. Defensively from a call standpoint, really learning the entire defense and being able to play different calls, different techniques. You can kind of see him day to day where he'll do some things well and he'll make a mistake, but then a lot of times he's able to correct it the next day and just keep going forward. And then I think, maybe the biggest area that you're starting to see signs of, and I would just expect are going to continue, much to like what we've talked about with Sierra Wright. To play corner, you're learning the defense, you're learning college football, everything's new. We've got to get him settled into a point where he can really turn loose and play aggressive all the time, because when he does that, you see the strength, you see the length, you see the top end speed, and he's learning to use that more aggressively, and you're learning when he can. And each day he just gets a little more confident, and the mistakes are starting to trend down. positive plays are starting to go up, and that's going to be a process. You know what I mean? Like we compared it with Sierra. I mean, Sierra started 9 games for us last year. You know, Sierra played a lot of football for us last year, and there are things that are just now with him starting to click into place where he's starting to really play closer to his capability. And so, you know, Damani's on that similar climb. But it's been very positive. He's pushed through. He's learning kind of what it takes at this level, and he's getting better each and every day. And the talent there is undeniable.
RJ, let's try again.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Lincoln. Last summer you were pretty outspoken about your thoughts on how NIL and collectives were already impacting your recruiting in the college game. I'm curious about your thoughts on those topics now and just kind of how USC is operating in that space.
My thoughts on it haven't changed a whole lot. I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's certainly a factor. It's still something that every school uses different ways. You know, everybody's involved at a different level. I mean, you see it. Some things you see across the country publicly. There's a lot of things that are going on that you don't see. So yeah, I mean, I feel kind of in the same place that I've always felt. I mean, we gotta figure out what it's going to be and how it's going to be and how we're going to regulate it. And you know, to my knowledge, nobody's really done that yet. You know, so hopefully that comes. USC, probably like every school in America, has adapted a lot in the last 7 or 8 months. We've got some new groups that have done a really nice job with our guys and opportunities, and with another 1 or 2 on the way. And so I've been very pleased with direction of it here, where it's going. And I mean, it should be an advantage for us here. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, we've got a powerful alumni base. We got a lot of people that love and care about USC football. You're playing in a city that puts a lot of attention on really good teams, and especially this team, when it's playing at the level it should be, it puts it on a very unique stage. And then when you tie in all the corporate opportunities here for any athlete, professional now or collegiate, they're very unique, and really nowhere else exists like that. So should be an advantage. We're I think kind of watching this thing unfold like the rest of the world is. And like I said, hopefully here at some point we decide what we can do and what we can't do, and we're able to enforce all of it. And I think all of it will be in a better place as that goes.
Thank you.
I'm gonna wrap it up with these last 3 hands. So Connor.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious, how much further along is the defense on April 8th of this year than it was a year ago at this time? You've brought up Anthony Lucas a couple times. It seems like certainly heading in the right direction, and I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, totally different. I mean, from a scheme knowledge standpoint, from a talent standpoint, especially in the front 7, the competitive depth, it's, defensively last year, there was a little bit of a sense of you had your handful of really good players, and then there was too much of a gap between those guys and everybody else. Whereas now, that we've got some really good, outstanding individual players, but the gap has closed. And because of that, yeah, more competition, more depth. Guys are really having to push. Guys learn to know the system better. We've got some good leaders on that side of the ball. So no, certainly, certainly a long ways from where we were a year ago. I mean, there's no question about that, but still a long ways to go. But I've been encouraged with what I've seen this spring. Again, particularly the depth in the front 7, and then the emergence of some of the guys in the secondary would be the 2 things I'm the most excited about.
Antonio.
Hey, Lincoln, I know after the season you said the Cotton Bowl could be a confidence builder for Rajon Davis. What have you seen from his progress this spring?
He's had a good spring. Yes, he's I think we kind of all sense that this is a key time for him. He made some really nice plays in that game for us. He had been starting to trend and do some really good things in practice leading up to that. And he's had a lot of opportunities this spring, and that's a good room right now. I mean, when you look at Obviously, Shane, played a lot of reps for us last year. Eric played a lot of reps. Obviously Rajon played there at the end of the year and played a ton of special teams reps for us. So those three guys have some pretty nice experience. And then you bring in Mason and Tackett, throw those guys into the mix. I mean, it's a good room. It's a very competitive room. It's one of the deepest rooms that we have on the football team, as it's kind of evolved. And I think it's made all of those guys have to up their game. And because anything less than elite linebacker play, and they're going to be standing by us. And that's just the nature of the competition. So Rajon's raised his game. He's certainly making less mistakes, playing a lot cleaner. And he's really worked hard to put on some strength and play a little more physical because he's always been able to move. And that's shown up as well. So yeah, been a positive spring, and he's certainly going to be right in the middle of it.
We'll close it out with Brian, who looks like he's in the woods.
I wish. Lincoln, you mentioned Anthony Lucas a little bit. Obviously, he's a massive human being. How have you seen him sort of deal with the finer points of kind of picking up this defense? And obviously, it seems like you guys have trusted him quite a bit with just how much he's moved around the front seven.
Yeah, he's done a good job. I mean, I really been impressed, for a younger guy to transfer in. He's learned our stuff. He's been very reliable from a scheme standpoint. He makes explosive plays. He's brought really good energy and competitiveness to each day. He was, one of the first newcomers to earn or to become gold plated. He got that honor a couple of days back, and so yeah, he's done a nice job. He's really acclimated well. Just been a really fun guy to have in the program. He's been a fun guy to put on our defense, and yeah, just his transition. You never know exactly how that transition is going to go, especially with a younger guy that's still not seasoned as far as a collegiate football player. And he's handled it very well. So we've been super impressed. I mean, he's got a really, really high upside. And he's one of those guys like you feel his impact, on practice just about every day, and that's what great players, and certainly, guys that are really good and impactful defensive linemen, you feel them. Like if, like that Thule was like that. Like if Thule wasn't in a drill, which he was always in a drill, so this is not a very good, probably not a very good example, but like Thule wasn't in a drill, you could feel that versus if he was there. The great ones, you just kind of feel the presence. And Anthony, I'm not saying he's Thule. I'm not saying he's a great player yet. He's certainly got the chance to be. He keeps on the track he's going. He's got a chance to be very good, and we've been thrilled with just how he's handled it all here in the beginning and acclimated to our team and our culture.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Riley. Thank you, media. Have a great rest of your Saturday.
Thanks, everybody. Happy Easter. Enjoy.